Hi everybody, today we're going to do a chair yoga class. So you'll of course need a chair, and if you have 2 blocks, that would be great too. If not, you can grab some really thick books. It's really important that you have about a 90-degree angle at the knees. So if you don't, and you need to elevate your feet, you can use the blocks or the books. We're going to start in a nice, comfortable seated position, so feet will be hips distance apart with even distribution in both of your hips, sitting nice and tall, softening the shoulders away from the neck, away from the earlobes, reaching nice and long through the neck and through the crown of the head. And you're going to begin to breathe. You'll be breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, trying to match the inhale with the exhale and deepening the breath with each round. Our practice will be focusing on the breath today, so as you move and as you stretch, always remember to be checking in with the breath. Slowly fluttering the eyes open, we'll bring our hands to heart center, and we're going to circle our arms up and around, reaching towards the sky. And we'll exhale, and we're going to forward fold over our thighs, bringing our head down, letting our thighs hold the full weight of our torso. If you need to, you can grab your blocks, and we're going to inhale to halfway lift, lengthening through the spine, nice flat back, and exhale to forward fold. On the next inhale, we'll reach the arms back up to the sky, and exhale the hands through heart center. Again, circling the arms up and around. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling back into our forward fold. And on the next inhale, circling the arms up and around. Exhaling, hands through heart center. Again, inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, nice flat back. And exhaling, rounding down into our forward fold, really letting that head hang, breathing into the upper back. Maybe shaking the head yes and no to make sure that neck is nice and relaxed. Inhaling, we'll reach the arms back up to the sky. Exhaling, hands through heart center. And this time, we're going to inhale the arms up. We're going to interlace the fingers. We're going to reach up tall, and we're going to tilt over to our left side into a nice side bend. Gaze looking through the armpit. Nice long spine, lifted through the chest and breathing into the side body. We'll inhale to neutral and exhale to the opposite side. Reaching and breathing in to those side ribs, really opening those intercostal spaces, and inhaling to neutral. Releasing the arms down, finding a nice comfortable seat. We're going to do a few neck rolls here. So remembering to soften those shoulders down the back, rolling side to side while maintaining a nice tall spine and moving with the breath. Trying to find those little areas where you feel a little more tension and spending some time there. Trying to ease out the tightness of the neck muscles. Going nice and slowly. Bringing the chin back to the chest and lifting up. We're going to take this a little further and we're going to drop our left ear to our left shoulder, and we're going to take our left hand and place it on the right side of our head. And we're going to press our head into our hand, press, 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 and then release. And then again, pressing our head into our hand, and then release. Pressing, pressing, pressing into the hand, and then releasing that arm down. Maybe taking a few movements, moving the head yes and no, just to sort of work that out. And we'll go to the other side, so tilting the head to the right side, taking the right hand to the left side of the head, and pressing into the hand, press, 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 and release. And then pressing back into the hand, press, 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 and release. And again, one more time, press, press, press into the hand, and then release. And then we'll release the right hand down to our knee. Take a few movements at the neck, maybe rolling it out. Just seeing how it feels. And then we're going to do a stretch in the front part of our neck. So we're going to take our hand to our right collarbone just below, and we're going to pull the skin down there. And then we'll tilt away from that hand into a side bend, and then we'll tilt the chin just up ever so slightly. And you should feel a nice stretch through that right side of that front of your neck. Just spend a little time here. This is really targeting that fascia between the skin and the muscle, stretching that out and giving us some more space to breathe. Coming back to neutral, we'll go to the other side. So right hand to left collarbone, pulling down on that flesh, and then tilting your head to the right side and ever so slightly lifting the chin. Making any movements necessary to find that stretch through the front side of the neck. Breathing. And coming back to neutral. Again, maybe rolling the neck once or twice to reset. Bringing the hands to heart center. We're going to take one more forward fold, reaching the arms up nice and tall, and exhaling, forward fold. Again, you can place hands on blocks or not, but we're just going to hang here for a moment, breathing into that upper back, opening all of that tissue in our upper back. If you want, you can place your hands down on the ground with the palms facing up. Breathing nice and deeply and slowly. Placing the hands on the ground or the blocks. We're going to lift back up, reaching the arms up nice and tall and bringing the hands through heart center. Coming to standing, we're going to shift our chair so that the tallest part is facing us. We're going to take a forward fold to stretch those shoulders, almost like a down dog. But making sure that that chair is nice and sturdy and is not going to slip. So really sort of test it before you get there, because the last thing we want to do is fall face first. So we're going to walk our feet back, sit our hips back, and we're going to stretch those front shoulders. You'll feel this in the chest and that front part of your shoulder. Trying to have a nice flat spine. You can see I have a little bit of a curve in my elbows, but trying as best you can to keep your arms nice and straight. Tuning into the breath. Taking a slight bend in the knee and lifting those hips back. Trying to find that nice flat spine. Focusing into the breath. And then on the inhale, slowly coming out of it and stepping forward to your chair. We're going to take a tree pose. So there are several ways you can do this. You can place your hand on the back of the chair, again making sure it's nice and sturdy. We're going to rotate the toes of the left foot out and bring the heel to the shin. This is your first step in tree pose, and you always want to find a focal point on the ground to focus on to help with your balance. And you can take any version of tree that you would like, placing the heel on the shin or the foot on the shin, fully lifting up, or on the inner thigh, but never on the knee joint. Making sure that you aren't dumping into that hip, so that you're lifting that left hip up nice and high to meet the right hip. And you can have hands at heart center, you can reach your arms up tall, or you can just have your hands balancing on the chair. It's totally up to you what you want to do. And then focusing into the breath here. Making sure that you're breathing, as this will help steady your balance. And then wherever you are, we're going to slowly step out of this and maybe rock the hips side to side and switch to the other side. So again, you can take whichever version of tree pose you'd like, making sure not to dip down in that hip. You can have your hands on the chair, your hands at heart center or reaching up to the sky. And you can have your heel on your shin, your whole foot on your shin, or on the inner thigh, but never the knee. Focusing into the breath, finding your version of tree pose. Feeling all of those little movements that happen as we find our balance. And then releasing the hands and releasing the feet. Again, rocking those hips out. And then we'll return the chair back to the center, or where we started. And we're going to come to seated. We're going to stretch that hip out. So drawing the knee into the chest, we're going to cross our left ankle over our right knee. There are several different positions that you can do to find comfort here. But I want you to at least try to draw that left knee down towards the ground. You should feel that activation and that stretch in the left hip. And you can stay here and just breathe. Or if you want to take it a little further, you can always take a forward fold. So starting to fold into this, hinging at the hips. It may mean you don't go so far, but I want you to keep that nice long spine, the crown of the head reaching long, dropping the shoulders down the back. And with each exhale, finding yourself coming just a little deeper into the pose. Inhaling to lift and exhaling to come a little deeper. On your inhale, lifting back up and releasing that leg down to the floor. We'll do this on the opposite side, so crossing that right leg over the left knee. Again, we're going to press that knee down towards the mat, feeling that activation in that right hip. And you can stay here for as long as you want. But if you want to take it a little deeper, you can feel free to turn this into a forward fold. Always remembering, regardless of what position you've chosen to take, to inhale and lengthen the spine, and exhale and deepen the stretch. Inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to deepen. Noticing what you're feeling at your hip and in your lungs. Inhaling and lifting and releasing that leg down. From here, we're going to do a little hamstring stretch. So we're going to come a little bit more to the edge of our chair, if that's okay for you. And we're going to reach our left leg out long. We're going to place our hands on our right knee. We're going to lift with a nice tall spine and slowly hinge at the hips. Going only as far as you can go while also maintaining that nice long spine. And feeling that stretch through the back of the thigh. Trying to have a nice flexed foot here. This will deepen that stretch just a little bit. You can also always play with pointing and flexing the toe while you're here. Again, inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to lower. We'll inhale back up and we're going to switch feet. So pressing into that left knee, hinging forward, and using that breath to take you further into the stretch. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to lower. And on your next inhale, we'll lift back up. We'll find our nice comfortable seat and we're going to stretch our fingers out. So we're going to bring our thumbs together and we're going to press them into one another until we feel that nice stretch through the palm of the hand. This is an area that we often neglect, but we use our hands so much, it's so important not to. Bringing the pointer fingers now together and pressing them together on you until you feel that nice stretch in the tendons of the hand. And next, the middle fingers together. And then the ring finger. And still making sure to focus into the breath. And then last but not least, the pinky fingers. And then release that out and maybe do some wrist circles. And then massage out your right forearm, just squeezing it. Running all the up and down all the length. And then maybe squeezing your wrist a little bit, squeezing that carpal tunnel and switching to the other side. And again, coming up to the wrist and squeezing the wrist just to release any tension that might be there. And then circle the wrists out. And then we're going to draw our left foot up again, and we're just going to give it a nice little quick massage, just doing spider fingers, just pressing into the meat of the foot to relieve some tension there. It's not quite as good as getting a massage, but it's not bad. And then switching sides. Just finding all those little spots that need a little attention. And then releasing that down. And then we're going to rub the neck a little bit. So just doing spider fingers in the meat of your neck all the way down into the trap and to the back of the neck. We'll stick to the left side for now, or whichever side you picked first. Just working out all those little knots that you find. And then switching sides. Switch to the right side. And again, just walking those fingers out, working through all those little spots and points of tension. Working up the back of the neck and down to the shoulder, maybe even a little bit of the front of the neck. And then we'll release that down. Find our comfortable seat. And we have a couple different options for our final pose. You can decide what you want to do. You can either, if you have blocks, stack 2 blocks up and rest your forehead on the top of the block. And rest your hands down on your thighs. This is option 1. You can also just come into that forward fold where you rest your torso on your thighs and let your head hang, letting your palms face up, and just relax here. Another option is to come to the ground and place your lower legs up onto the chair and lay back in more of a Shavasana, legs up the wall kind of pose. And if none of this works for you, the other option is to just come into Shavasana, where you lengthen the legs out on the ground, nice and long, arms out at your sides, palms facing up. But whichever pose you have chosen, I want you to start to take an inventory from top to bottom, releasing any tension between the eyebrows, relaxing the jaw, not clenching the teeth, lengthening through the back of the neck, allowing your body to begin to breathe you rather than you controlling the breath, releasing any tension in the hands, any gripping in the thighs, and any tension in the feet. And just finding stillness. You can stay here as long as you want, so you can pause this video, or you can begin to invite small movements into the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes, maybe circling the ankles or drawing the knees into the chest if you're on the ground. If you're seated, then just remain in that forward fold. But if you're on the ground, begin to roll to one side. And wherever you are, keep those eyes closed for now, just slowly waking up the body. Wherever you are, we're going to begin to lift up into a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. Keeping the eyes closed. Bringing the hands to heart center. Namaste.